Okay, boys and possibly girls. I'm still up here in Nakamurashima and thinking about the passport bro situation. Smoking too, because it's a man's right to smoke, right? Um, yeah, I've been seeing a lot of these guys up in or down in Pattaya, Phuket. Um, thus far, it's kind of a term that makes no sense to me. Everybody's different, right? Maybe some guys are looking for wives. Some guys are maybe looking for cheap sex. I don't know, but let's just fiddle about and see what we can find on the Tinterweb. And I'll put my three penneth in. Okay, when a passport bro gets divorced on TikTok. Oh, I think this is the guy in the Philippines. Let's have a look.
What I experience with Filipinas is that they're always very good for my ego. I always feel like the man around a Filipina.
Have you
Look at the ears on her, fantastic. Anyway,
ever heard of a passport bro? The kind of man who uses a notebook like this in order to get a woman from abroad.
The concept is
Hmm.
Western men are not satisfied.
I don't think you will find any more many women who are too bothered about your American passport. We have the internet now. You got to remember, well, maybe the Philippines is not so safe, um, but I would say certainly safer than the places I've been to in Los Angeles and New York and what have you. Um, I don't think there is a massive desperation to get to America anymore. I think that's something Americans believe. Certainly here in Thailand, nobody is desperate to go living in America.
With the trend in modern dating and modern relationships, so they are changing it up and going overseas.
Typically, these men believe that women in the West have become too masculine for that. And
Yeah, well, the women that we see on TikTok and on social media, uh, yeah, I think most men would think they are too masculine. Um, Definitely worth an hour or so, but I mean, nobody wants to be in a long-term relationship with somebody with their asshole out on OnlyFans or on Instagram or wherever. That's for sure.
I guess to be fair, I do have a dick, so maybe he's got a point there. I'm dead. I'm dead. I can't. I can't. Why did I say that? I be riffing sometimes.
So the problem nowadays is men are not being men
Women like that are so like not fun.
and women are being men.
Passport bros are a very peculiar movement of men on the internet who come together to speak about pursuing women internationally, which on its own isn't necessarily a bad thing.
It's really not. I mean, the guys in the armed forces have been doing it for almost generations. I know my grandfather's brother is married to a black woman in South Africa, in Durban, and was actually kind of illegally married during apartheid. I mean, this has been going on for generations. It's only really now that black men who are not in the forces, American black men, have started doing this. But white guys have been doing it for decades, for forever, you know.
But often comes coupled with quite a bit of misogyny.
There's no birth control in the Philippines.
Yeah, a lot of these women will talk about misogyny. I don't think it's misogynist, if that's how you say it, to want traditional gender roles. I mean, men and women kind of need each other. I'll get stick for saying this, but probably drop all that red pill, blue pill crap. At the end of the day, men need women, women need men, and probably in the traditional roles that we were assigned or were developed uh, through our culture, you know, through our history. As soon as that breaks down, the society breaks down, and it has done in the past.
Young Filipino women have not, this is going to sound gross, but they haven't burned out their ovaries with birth control.
Typically, they're divorced, and quite frequently, this is like their third or fourth time trying to find a marriage. The problem Is not them, of course, but feminism and the way that the Western media.
I could go with that. Yeah, I mean there are a few losers. Thailand attracts its fair amount of losers, but it also attracts older men who've had a bad divorce. Maybe lost a few quid through no fault of their own. They've been a provider all their life, and the woman has left them after a couple of decades. It's not always a man's fault. It sometimes is. It's an individual situation.
Media has warped women into essentially these unforgiving harpies that only want their money.
I don't think the media has molded these women. These women present themselves via the media. I mean, we can see it on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram.
Ability to be humble and humble to your man so that he can be a leader and you're not being a biatch all the time. That's what guys from America are looking for in general.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, after a hard day's work, we need peace in the house. That's all, That trumps everything. That trumps a 9 out of 10 woman, If you have a 7 who's nice, kind, peaceful, strives to keep the home peaceful, then she trumps a 9 for sure.
Divorce is not a consideration. It's at least not a game plan. It's not a retirement plan for the woman. You're most likely to get through the hard times knowing that, your wife, my Filipino wife, isn't thinking of nuking it all with a divorce.
They whine.
I would be very careful on that one. A lot of these guys are late to the party. And they, especially the younger guys as well, they will complain about bitter white men. The thing is, we've been here longer than you guys, and there's a reason all these old, or many of these old white men are bitter, legitimate reasons. And if you become one, you'll know what those reasons are. I'm not here to defend them. I could be bitter. I'm not bitter, right? I have to take hits as opportunity. Yeah. So if a door closes, another one opens, and it's how you react to situations, even heartbreak, that will get you the results, or not get you the results. So yeah, there's a lot of old bitter men here, for good reason, and you should talk to some of them and avoid some of their pitfalls.
And whine about how terrible American women are. They socialize with other men who, of course, are not.
Well, people are not queuing up to get into America to find an American woman now, are they? I don't know. Some of the American women I've been involved with have been fine. I will tell you though, I was there for the Rodney King retrials in Los Angeles, and the amount of respect I was shown by black women just because I'm white living in a black area, and the amount of grief and disrespect that they used to show their young, old, and all very capable men was astounding. I wouldn't like it if white women treated me as badly as some of the black women treat the black men when I was in Los Angeles. No, not for me. I can understand why you would leave that situation.
Responsible in any way for their failures with American women.
But looking at relationships from a propagation and survival perspective, it makes sense that a well-established man, like moi, would partner with a young, highly fertile female.
And
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, yeah. I mean, all relationships are almost like a business deal, I suppose. I think we can dispense with the idea of true love. I think love is something that comes to a relationship. If there is love there in the first place, it's not a deep love. It's kind of physical attraction, maybe a little bit of addiction. In a long-term relationship, you need to have your business head on, for sure. Women too, and I think that's essentially what's happening here. But make no mistake, I know plenty of genuine relationships with men in the 50s who are physically fit, physically active, maybe a little too active for their younger wives who are, maybe 20 years younger, 15 years younger. They lead pretty normal, solid lives. Of course, there are a huge amount of disaster stories as well. So it's as always, it's a 50-50 situation. It might work out, it might not. But make no mistake, a cross-cultural relationship takes a lot of work, that's for sure. That said, it's wrong to take these countries and these women as the solution to the problems that you're having with the women back home. We have the internet. A lot of women here aspire to be like some of the boss babes that they see on TikTok from America.
More recent years, we have seen the repercussions of this movement with some men who have decided to go abroad mysteriously disappearing after they, I don't know, made the decision to be very public about basically wanting to do sex tourism and not respecting the women from certain countries.
Yeah, that's not entirely true across the board, though, is it? I mean, a big reason for the passport bros movement is not just women. I mean, your dollar goes a lot further here, a lot further. There are ways in which you can own businesses, properties, especially for Americans. It's easier here in Thailand. So, no, I don't see too many men that are openly admitting on social media that they just come here for cheap sex and to find women and to disrespect them. And that's kind of what this lady's it's the way she supports her own narrative is by just spouting things that are probably not very true in this instance.
Can't imagine what could possibly have happened to them. Now, to be clear, I don't think there's anything wrong with someone who ends up falling in love with someone abroad, but most of these men are looking to have a very particular power imbalance.
No, they're not. They're just not. They're looking to have, if they're looking for a long-term relationship, they're looking to have peace, That's all. They're not looking for a massive power imbalance. There is no massive power imbalance when you're involved with a Thai woman or a Colombian or Brazilian, whatever. Yeah, in some ways, they will play the role of wife. But the role of wife, traditionally, is very powerful, Make no mistake, Thai women are not a pushover, not for anybody. One nearly completely destroyed me. And I guess every man who's ever had or ever spent any time in Thailand has one of those stories,
in their relationships. In fact, it seems like in many of these relationships, money is simply a tool of control that these men use. And typically we don't get insight into these relationships.
As in any country, and sex is or the availability of sex is the tool that the women use to manipulate the men. So you're just talking about basic human motivations, human relationships. I mean, that's what it is. Women are attracted to resources, and men, probably more genuinely, are attracted to the woman.
But with TikTok, we've managed to see an instance like this play out live, and I have been following this saga for the past couple of days,
yeah, this is the
and
guy
I wanted to bring it to you guys here.
It only took 2 years, literally to the day, December 27th, for my Filipino wife to become fully Americanized, hate everything about me and what I provide, and decide to leave.
But I am getting ahead of myself. Hi, my name is Kat Black, and I like to think that I make content for introspective hot people. And if you're here...
Yeah, she doesn't seem to be very introspective or hot to me. But anyway, let's go.
I'll assume that's you. And if you're brand new here, you know exactly what to do if this video pleases you. Click my button and join us right here on the channel. So in this video, I want it to be kind of experimental. I want to do this reaction while doing my makeup because I am on my way to the goth club as per usual. And it's been a really long time since I've done my makeup on YouTube, so I figured that I would do my makeup and we would watch these videos together. So as most of you guys probably have heard by now, TikTok is about to be banned. I have really appreciated TikTok as a platform that empowers certain people to speak and to also
Yeah, assholes mainly. Anyway, enough of her. Let's have a look. Let's search Passport Bros and see what we can find. Let's see if there's any short.
What I experienced.
Oh, not this one. I've seen this before.
This woman traveled to Bangkok, Thailand, and right at the airport, she made a very interesting observation about the Passport Bros.
Honestly, the amount of white dudes with Thai women that are waiting to board international flights, it's an absurdity. It is crazy.
Now that she's
It's always been that way. It's always been that way between Asian women and white men. There was a time in Asia, especially Japan, Korea, less so Thailand, where there was a certain amount of discrimination against black men. But to be honest, most of the Passport Bros I've met in this part of the world are kind of doing us all a favour, you know, behaving themselves mainly, starting businesses, getting married, raising families. And I have to hand it to a lot of the black lads from America. You know, they kind of raising the profile, because a lot of us white boys here can be quite badly behaved, I suppose, especially English ones, bar brawling it up and down Soy 6 in Pattaya. Not me, of course, but some of my countrymen don't really contribute to the overall image of foreigners in Thailand. That has to be said.
says a lot of white men. Hold on a minute.
Black men from America that can't get no so they go to third world countries.
Listen, what the hell does she look like, and why would you want to? It's not that these lads can't get you. But every Passport Bro I've ever met, and I've met hundreds of the guys at my mate's tattoo studio, where a lot of the Passport Bros stay around there in Jomtien near Pattaya, right? And there's a bar where a lot of them hang out. I've talked to literally hundreds of them. Every single one of them looks better than this woman. And I can understand why, if this is considered hard to get, why you would leave the country. I would. Yes,
I haven't seen a white yet. Are there white men in this? Because I feel like it's only men.
I guess it's a Western men thing, not just.
Are there any white men in this? Especially white Europeans. Many, for decades. I mean, the amount of pubs in England who are run by an English guy and his Thai wife, and they have a Thai menu, is absolutely astounding. And funnily enough, English women don't have a problem with this, because they tend to think it's none of their effing business. I don't know why American women can't do the same.
Black men.
Like, half of the couples in this airport right now are beautiful Thai women with super basic white dudes.
Because you're not super basic. Actually, you're not with anybody, are you? And no one's going to be breaking down the doors of your house to get in there to be with you, are they, really? Seriously, come on, love.
And yes, her comment section were full of Passport Bros, and they were having none of it. It's hilarious. This woman traveled to Bangkok, Thailand, and right at the airport, she made a very interesting observation about the Passport Bros.
I deserve.
Have you heard about like the Passport Bros? What's your opinion on that? It's a movement that's happening right now. A lot of guys are doing that, and I just want to know what you think about that.
Okay, so guys are going to other countries to find a woman?
Yeah, I think everybody knows this by now, no? Like, it's a mass exodus from the west to the east, or to South America.
Yes. It's not in a creepy way, you know? It's like he doesn't like the mentality of North America. You know, the money, the hustle, the bustle.
I do understand. I guess it's fine. Well, if you don't want to...
I don't know what's with these women. They think they own men that are the same skin color. I don't get it. I guess it's fine.
North American woman, it's okay.
Not all North American women are like you. Have you heard about like the
Well, f you. Go away. Go find your women wherever you want if you're not satisfied. I don't know what to tell you. If you want a woman who barely even speaks English.
National language of the Philippines, English. I don't know a Thai person that's over the age of about 14 who can't reasonably communicate in English. Even up in the villages, somebody will speak English. Communication is really not a problem in Thailand, in Philippines, in Japan more so. Actually, a way more wealthy and educated country. Yeah, that might be a thing.
And just has to suck your dick. Go for it.
You see the anger? Do you see that? Triggered immediately. Well, F you then.
They are completely triggered by it. And maybe they don't want the men who are leaving. But the fact that they can't have them, even if they did want them, that's called being a woman scorned. And then they go into meltdown, as we see.
Just look.
When talking shit goes wrong.
Let's have a look. There's some more.
This woman traveled to Bangkok, Thailand, and right at the airport, she made.
Yeah, let's have a look at this.
ตรุษจีนนี้ให้แบรนด์ให้เฮงทั้งปีไหว้บรรพบุรุษและคนที่คุณรักด้วยของขวัญจากแบรนด์ลังนกแท้
So I married a Japanese woman. She's absolutely awesome. Let me tell you a little story. For around 10 years, I was dating around in the West. A number of terrible relationships full of shit testing, shit talking, downright emotional abuse, really. My heart completely shut. I just couldn't open up to anyone anymore. Then I went to Japan. And within 3 months, I met my wife. She was just so...
Yeah. Nice, you know? Traditional Japanese women are really nice, yeah? I would say as well, this is going to sound weird, but I would say high-quality Thai women are harder to meet than high-quality Japanese women. That said, there are more wealthy, educated... high-value Japanese women in Japan than there are Thai women in Thailand. But the ones that exist in Thailand are really only interested in Thai men because of the stigma that comes with dating one of us. Because, of course, places like Phuket and Pattaya are full of Westerners behaving badly. So there is a stigma. Japan doesn't have that, right? Well, Okinawa has the American forces behaving badly, and Roppongi in Tokyo, one of the main nightlife districts, yeah, there's plenty of an army there. But in the main, expats in Japan are working there. You know, they're not there just to have fun, although fun can be had. And to be honest, in a lot of the traditional entertainment districts and areas, many of the clubs there won't let Westerners in. Still now, no gaijin, and they won't explain to you why. Just we don't want you in here, and they don't have to, you know. So the Japanese women who are interested in foreigners are interested in them for the right reasons, you know. In Thailand, that's a completely different story. Let's have a look.
Caring, so supportive. She genuinely wished for me to feel happy. She was the one who finally managed to unlock my heart.
Yeah, Japan is really kind of a simple, happy place. Well, that's the way I've experienced it. Other people may have different ideas. But the Japanese women I've known, the things they like to do, it's all kind of happy, you know? Just happy, peaceful.
I fell for her. I don't wonder at all why #passport bros exist.
Hello everyone, if you are a new viewer, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If this is your second, third, fourth time watching one of my videos and you are not yet subscribed, we already go together, make it official and hit that subscribe button. Today, we're going to be talking about the passport bros. So these are bros who are traveling abroad to try something new. And before I talk about them trying something new, I want to talk about something new that I have tried. If you're like me, then you like when things smell nice, and my car always smells as one of them. Oftentimes when you use 55% off your first to behave in a certain way, and that by seeking out foreign women, they can find a more authentic, fulfilling, and harmonious relationship. This is seen as a way to restore the natural balance between masculine and feminine energy, and to avoid the wickedness of Western women. So this move.
Yeah, I would say that's a fairly realistic definition, you know. Passport bros are not sex tourists. Well, that's not what the definition is. We have sex tourists and we have passport bros.
Movement actually began back in 2011 when a filmmaker by the name Al Grease made a documentary called Frustrated, and the subject of the documentary was black men who were American and were frustrated with the dating scene in America, and so they went off to Brazil to find more feminine and Brazilian women. Fast forward to 2023 and this movement has expanded, it's blown up, and it has become a very divisive subculture on the internet.
Yeah, it kind of has. And all this is men doing what men have always done, except it's grown because the people that have done it before are accessible on social media, right? I mean, had we had social media before, this movement would have been as big. Because to be honest, from my generation and ever since, men have been very dissatisfied with women in the West. In general, you know. So when a solution is presented, men will take it, and social media has allowed that solution to be presented. It's kind of obvious, and it's not a subculture. It's just what some men do, and the label it's been given is passport bros. It's not some kind of rebellious subculture.
There are many people, especially women, who are disgusted by the passport bro movement, and they basically see it as glorified sex tourism.
When you pay attention to the passport bros, like they're getting women from like the DR, Colombia,
Yes.
The Philippines, Thailand, like women that can speak very little English. Women.
Yeah, you must have seen this clip before. And all the Thai women, Filipino, they all speak English. Yeah, simple as that. They all speak English. Philippines, hugely educated people. When I was a teacher, some of the most sought after teachers were Filipinos, Filipinas, because education is so prized in their country and so easily accessible. Like they all have a degree, you know. And let's not compare American or doing a degree in America to doing a degree in England, because it's not the same thing. American degrees pale in comparison to degrees from the UK. You don't come from a very bright academic background if you went to university in America. Maybe you do. In general, though, when you compare the two, the UK outshines you. And I would say America is on about the same par as the Philippines. Most of the graduate students that I've managing their theses and what have you, in America and the Philippines, you know, they're at a very similar level. At that high level, they're at a very similar level.
Women that don't have education, women that need them.
I think it's very ignorant to assume that women in foreign countries don't speak English and that they are uneducated. And then
they're not just, yeah, I mean, exactly as she says. They all speak English. Huge amounts of them are educated, because education is fairly cheap, to be honest. Quality education is fairly cheap in a lot of these countries, and the education is quality. I have a higher national diploma from FEU in the Philippines, and to be honest, that higher national diploma was as difficult and demanding as my master's degree from Oxford Brookes University. So, to put it in perspective.
on the flip side, there are people, including Western women, who understand where the passport bros are coming from.
The passport bros seem to be a hot commodity nowadays, so let's just go ahead and get straight into it. These are the same men that you said you didn't want, didn't need, and they are broke. I'm going to be honest, going overseas to travel frequently and live does not equate to broke. But then again, this just simply speaks to the delusion and hypocrisy of women. These men have been very clear in their message. They've said time and time again they wanted wives, someone they could build with, start their family with, someone they could create a legacy with. What y'all heard was they wanted someone that they can control. Y'all minimize being a wife simply down to being a slave, even so much as telling those other women overseas that they're uneducated and practicing sex tourism. And
yeah, I mean, many Japanese women are highly educated, wealthy, some wealthier than their husbands. They get married. When they come home, they're a wife. When the man comes home, he's a man. You know, it's the same in Thailand. It's the same in Philippines. They're able to separate their career from their family. You know, they will defer to their husband, and they will choose their husband very carefully.
And in turn, a lot of y'all have took your degree and traded it in for an OnlyFans profile. Nobody said anything when women were going to Dubai. We know why you were going. Nobody said anything when women were flying state to state getting flued
Yeah, to engage in geophagy. Look it up.
out. We know what you were doing. Nobody said anything when Nigerian and Jamaican men needed green cards and y'all started falsifying marriage documents so you could drive your Range Rover with your red bottoms. Let's just call a spade a spade. Y'all wanted the option to go back to these men after the man that you really wanted was done dragging you through the mud.
I think a lot of people generalize the passport bros movement as the modern day version of the mail order bride, and they have this idea that all of the guys who are passport bros, they're just unattractive, they're fat, they're ugly, they're losers, and they can't get...
Yeah, I hear this a lot. Fat, unattractive, ugly. You should see the amount of men in their 40s and 50s in Pattaya who do nothing but eat clean, go gym all week, enroll in Muay Thai courses and keep themselves in really good shape. Though they turn it loose at the weekend, that's for sure. Yeah, as indeed I used to. I don't drink anymore. But yeah, if you walk around Pattaya, you won't only see like fat, horrible, bitter bald men walking around. You will see extremely fit, healthy young men and older men. It's again, it's easy to take care of yourself here. You know, gym memberships are cheap. There's gyms everywhere. I'm not a member. When I used to live in Jomtien near Pattaya, I wasn't a member of any gym. There was that many good gyms. I used to pay my 100 baht, 200 baht, and go to a different gym every training day of the week, which was 5 days a week when I was down there. Here up in Nakhon Ratchasima, there's less options. So, and I have to do a lot at night time. So I'm with Jets, which is a big chain gym. But down there in Pattaya, where these passport bros, a lot of them are, they're really working on improving themselves. And they may not have come here for that reason. But when they get here, it's an opportunity a lot of them are taking and really improving themselves physically.
Get women in their home country, and so they're going to another country to find women that they think are going to have lower standards. And a lot of the videos that I've seen, they're all pretty young and they're pretty average looking, so they're not like Big Ed.
I'm done. Yeah. You really think that this is the rule here? It's not. It's just not. It's not all about old fat men at all. Not in any way. The amount of young guys I see in Phuket, Pattaya, if you take the whole place, outweighs the older guys, to be honest. And also that's tourism, but also in the expat community, there's a lot of young guys now who are earning money online, and they come and live here, and they're in good shape. You know, they really are. I'm done.
At the same time, I don't think that the passport bros movement is a monolith. Do I think that there are men who are calling themselves passport bros, but they're going abroad to just party and to hook up with women and to objectify women and live la vida loca? Yes, but
there are. And there are women who will welcome them for that. What's the problem? This doesn't happen in America. This doesn't happen in Europe. Of course it does. Young men like to party. Old men like to party. And we'll find the women that like to party with us. That's normal. That's life.
But I would say that those men are not passport bros, they're passport hoes.
Several bad puns later.
Men are not hoes. That's the thing, you know? They're just men out for a party, like anywhere else in the world, you know?
I would say that passport bros are largely a group of men who have been pushed out of the dating pool, and it largely has to do with feminism. This is why
many of them haven't been pushed out of the dating pool. Many of them have said, I don't fucking like this. I'm going abroad because there's better things there. You're giving women too much control. It's the men who are controlling this, not the women.
I believe that, you know, whether you agree with it or not, the passport bros movement was inevitable.
2,000 people in attendance.
I would agree with that. It was inevitable because you can't behave the way you're behaving and expect anybody to go for that. What's that comment? As long as they aren't going over to partake in trafficking or any other criminal behavior, I don't get why people care. Yeah, exactly. I guarantee you, nobody is coming here to partake in trafficking. I myself actually used to work in observation of the wildlife trade and the trade in women, children, non-timber forest products, drugs, etc. are highly entwined. So we had a few put away, a few traffickers who are never Western, they're always Asian. We had a few of them put away because they got careless with the wildlife end of their operations. Yeah, I'm published by Traffic Southeast Asia in Malaysia, and I was funded by the World Wildlife Fund. So there are no passport bros partaking in trafficking of people. My God. Let's check one more out and then call it a day. Okay. She looks kind of gobby. Let's have a look at her.
This is my problem with passport bros. Y'all go to these third world countries. Y'all get these women because...
Third world countries. Take a look at Bangkok. Take a look at Tokyo. Take a look at Seoul. Take a look at Saigon or Ho Chi Minh, Hanoi, Phuket. Third world countries. We don't live in tents here, darling.
Oh, I can just get me a woman over here. She's going to sit down. She's going to shut up. She's going to do...
Your Thai woman, she's going to sit down and shut up. Never seen it. Never seen it. Not once.
Bad as well. And she's going to be bad, right? But when a woman in America says the same thing, I want you to do this, 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 and that for me, I could be that stay-at-home wife.
You can't go to a
There's a problem. When we say it, it's a problem.
This is a flawed
argument.
Flawed argument. Do you know why? Because of hypergamy. You can't go to a third world country, pick up a man that's going to be a millionaire, good looking, 6 foot, great D, and then come and be your perfect guy. That's highly unlikely.
Never going to happen. Because rich men, poor men, educated men, uneducated men, nobody wants these women. That's not what men look for. It doesn't matter what you achieve in life. Men, by and large, want the same thing, which is somebody who looks good, keeps themselves in shape, are friendly with you, don't turn everything into an argument, and they keep peace in the household. It's very, very simple, you know? And these women in the West have evolved into something approaching a man. It's like a lot of people say they've become the men that they want to be with. The problem is those men don't want that kind of woman.
The likelihood is those type of guys are going to be in your country of origin because you come from a first world country. Yeah, it doesn't work the same. This is what men and women are different. Men don't mind dating down. Men don't mind marrying down. You can, as a man, I don't mind marrying a woman that works in McDonald's flipping burgers, bro.
It's the same in Asia, you know. Sometimes families get involved and stop it, in which case the man maybe stays single, or maybe there's an arranged marriage. But from what I've seen, and I know a few wealthy Asians in both Tokyo, or Tokyo, Osaka, Bangkok, presented with one of these gobby women from America, or a farmer's daughter from up here in Isan, who's poor with little education, they'll go for that woman. Not because they can bully her, but because they know that she wants to be a housewife to support the incredible man that she chose. It's really as simple as that. Please don't get it twisted. Passport bros are, some of them can't get anything back home, right? And if they can't get anything back home, they're unlikely to get anything here unless they pay for it, right? But in the main, the passport bros that I've met have been pretty upstanding guys, you know? Average looking, extremely good looking, some in shape, some just average. But as for all these complete losers that can't earn money and blah, 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 can't get anything in the West, they don't make up the population of passport bros that I've met, you know? The passport bros that I've met are extremely capable. They have to be. They've moved to the other side of the world, you know, to a country that, or to countries that traditionally were fairly against black men marrying into the families. And maybe a lot of Asian countries inherited their racism from us, from white countries. I would say that's a valid point. Maybe could look into that further. But the times are changing, you know. We have social media. We learn more about people, you know. And that seems to be what's happened here. I mean, black guys here are very, very popular. And not because they're American and they have an American passport, but because they've had the means to come here. They've had the means to stay here. They find jobs here. If they can't find jobs here, they start businesses here. And I've never seen one of these businesses fail yet, you know. I've seen them bumble along and then climb and plateau, but I've never seen anybody really fail here from the passport bro community. And yeah, I commend them all and welcome. Fantastic. They've got me back in the gym. Too much competition. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. And yeah, passport bros, welcome, but beware. Listen to us old white boys and some of the old black guys from the armed forces, and because there are some of the same pitfalls here as there are back home. That said, there are a lot more, or a lot higher number of traditional women here. Maybe you're not going to find them in Pattaya and Phuket and places like that, though. Maybe you want to be up here in the northeast, maybe up in the north, Chiang Mai, Pai, Phang, these kind of places. Yeah, there's a lot of bear traps in the tourist areas. Anyway, hope you like it. If you did like it, this is just a pilot video, hence the watermarks and what have you. Plan on doing more content, telling you more about my 30 years in Asia, reacting to a few more videos, and keeping up to speed basically with what's going on in this part of the world, especially as regards men, women, relationships, family, masculinity. Okay, ciao for now, guys, and I will see you later.